Okay, good evening. My name is Peter Sidwel. I'm here in my kitchen. I have got peace and quiet. I've got a bag full of ingredients and I'm going to cook a dinner for you that I'm certainly going to be cooking tomorrow for Halloween for my kids. Now, I've been down to Booths and I've bought some ingredients. Doing a little bit of work with these guys, just kind of exploring what amazing ingredients they have, certainly in my store in Keswick. I want to create some fantastic dishes to kind of inspire you to get down there and get cooking. So, I've got a pan preheating, getting nice and warm. Big cast iron pan, okay? And I'm going to do a bit of editing while I'm doing it all live, so when I crop into something so you can see what's going on. But what I'm going to use are these wonderful Booths spicy, spooky, spicy bangers. Now, let me just show you exactly. Now these, let me get a knife. Now these sausages are on special at the moment. And they're kind of flavoured with chipotle spices. So they are absolutely amazing. And you get one free at the moment, which is even cooler. So, look, they're really, really good size. They're perfect for like hot dogs and things like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist them. And I'm going to make two out of them, okay? So all I've done is twist there. And then I'm just going to cut that one in half. Yeah, and put that there. And then I'll just crop in so you can see what I'm doing. So all you do is you take this great big long banger and you just twist it really carefully, trying not to snap it yet, because you want that twist first, and then pop your knife in and then just carefully cut. And now we've got some really cool little size ones for the dish that I want to do. But I must say, these are perfect for a really good gourmet hot dog tomorrow night, or bonfire night even. So let's just twist this last one out and we're ready to get to cooking. So I wanted to cook something that kind of, I like one pot dishes, I think they're brilliant. And what they do is they deliver just loads of flavour. So I'm going to get these into the pan. So I've got a little bit of chili rapeseed oil here just to get the whole thing going. I'll pop that there and then in with the sausages. So we're going to place those straight in, and you can see why I've reduced them in size now so that they fit in there really, really well. Okay, now while that's going on, I'll tell you what I've got ingredients wise. I've got some sweet potatoes, I've got some coriander, I've got some chilli, I've got some limes, I've got pomegranate, and I've got some sour cream. Now for me, all these flavours just work really, really well. I've missed out a red onion as well. They just work really well. And to get them all in one pan is the perfect thing to do. Okay, so I'm just going to turn these over. So they're getting colour straight away. I can drop that in there. So if I just turn those over. And we get a bit of colour first before we add any moisture to this pan. Because if you add moisture before you get the colour, the coloration will then stop. So we want to get lots of nice colour in there. So, really important that you actually work in this order, okay? Because things need to cook at the right time, at the right pace. So I've got two sweet potatoes. So I'm going to cut these in half. And then I'm just going to carefully peel them. And it's quite important to cut these at the right size. Because if you cut them too big, they won't cook in time with the sausages. So it's really important that we do it this way and in this order. And it's not often that I am so precise about things, because I very much like to kind of just throw everything in and make adjustments and things. But if you want it all to cook at the same time, follow me. So, sweet potatoes. I'm using these because they've got the wonderful sweetness works with the chipotle paste in there, or chipotle, depending on how you pronounce it. So it's a really nice smoky chili in there. So we'll get rid of those skins. Okay, now move these sausages around. Oh, I have loads of colour. There's something very satisfying about sausages cooking in a pan. Love it. Okay, so sweet potatoes in half, then into quarters. So they're kind of like that shape. I'll do this one as well. And then all we're going to do is just chop them into cubes, okay? So we'll just run our knife through those. That means these will cook nice and quickly. Okay. Right, so in the pan. I've got some colour on the potatoes now. So we'll just pop those in. There we go. Now let's get starting to move that about, because what we want is lots of colour. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of butter in there as well. That'll help the colour come together nice and quickly. And we'll balance it all out with the lime juice, so don't worry about that. So, right. Red onion. Colour and sweetness. I much prefer them. Especially in this kind of dish. It just works really well. But what's important is when you cut through the onion like that, if I open that up, you can see, because I've cut it and kept the core on, that means the onion will hold together. And that's quite important in this dish. So, let's just take the first layer of skin off. But that core stays there, holds the whole thing together. And then what we're going to do is, very simply, just slice the onion like that. So that it stays in pieces, okay? Because we want chunks of red onion in this. We don't just want a load of slices. Okay, so they can go in the pan. There we go. Now we're starting to build a dish. Okay. Beautiful. Smells amazing already. These sausages, they're available in booths from the actual butchery counter. So if you go in there, speak to your friendly butcher, and they'll sort you out, I'm sure. So, I've got a red chilli. I'm going to slice that, and then I'm in half, and then I'm just going to cut really thin slices. Okay? And the reason why I've done that is because if you don't want loads of chilli in it, you can kind of fish around for it. Whereas if I said to you, you know, chop it really, really finely, it'll all just blend in it. It might be too hot for you. And if you don't like lots of chilli, don't put it in. Just put enough that you're happy with it, okay? Right. Lovely. Some amazing colours there. And then look, I'll show you this. Look, you can see the potatoes are starting to take on lots of colour now as well. So the sausages are taking on colour, as are the sweet potatoes, the onions, it's all starting to work together beautifully. Okay, so I've got some coriander here. Beautiful bunch of coriander here, amazing. I'm actually going to use the stalk to cook with, and then we'll finish with the leaf. So I'm just going to shred this up nice and fine. This is the stalk of coriander, so about a tablespoon's worth, because there is so much more flavour in your coriander in the stalk. You just have to smell it. I mean, you know, if you're going to buy fresh coriander, get your money's worth and make sure that you add in and cook with the stalk as well. Okay, brilliant. Looks delish. Right, so I've got a can of ginger beer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of liquid in here with the ginger beer, about 100 mils, okay? And then we put the lid on. And by putting the lid on, we've kind of created the oven. A little bit of chilli there, just on the back of my throat. So now we put the lid on, we put moisture in, the whole thing's cooking. Like if I take the lid off, you can see, look, everything's boiling, there's loads of heat in there. Yeah? So we've trapped all that heat in, so it's just going to cook really, really nicely. So what I'm going to do is turn it up, pop that there, and I'm going to pop a little pan on here, okay? And you'll see why in just a second. Now, let's move all this over. So what I've got is some self-raising flour now. And we're going to make some nice little kind of flatbready dumpling type, just delicious little soda bread style breads to go with this. So what I've got is, let me show you this. So I've got some ground cumin, some ground coriander, some paprika, smoked paprika, and then some nigella seeds or onion seeds as some people like to call them. And that's all just going to go straight into the pan, into the bowl. And then maybe half a teaspoon of salt for a little bit of flavour. And then I'm going to add in some pepper. Lovely. And then all we're going to do is just kind of mix this all together, okay? So give it a really good mix, and that will evenly distribute all the spices through there, okay? And then I'm going to take the rest of the coriander stalk. So we're getting all our money's worth on this bunch of coriander, which is important when you're buying fresh herbs. Right, whack that in. Love fresh coriander, smells absolutely amazing. It is the perfect herb to go with these flavours. So chipotle, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, all those lovely good flavours. Right, give it a good mix. There we go. Right, looking good. Right, pan's getting hot, perfect. Let's just knock that down a touch. Right, okay. So I'm just going to make a little well in the middle. I want a little bit of sour cream in there. Not a lot, just a little. Tablespoon will do. Okay. Touch of oil in there, that helps them stay nice and soft. And then the rest of our ginger beer. So we add that in the middle. Okay. So add it, mix it with the sour cream. Then start to pull everything together. Okay, it's quite important that you mix those liquids together first before you then start to mix it in with the flour. Otherwise, you end up with a great big clump of this soft dough that's only got sour cream in or only got ginger beer in. And the acidity of the sour cream and the bubbles from the ginger beer and certainly the flavour are the things that are going to give us a real lift on this. Okay, so now we've got that dough there. You can kind of see that, can't you? Okay, so what we get is a little bit of flour. Okay, let's just pop that flour there. A little bit on my hands. And then we're just going to take some of the dough and just roll it in my hand and pat it down until it's about, well, a centimetre thick and pop it in the pan. Okay, so I'll just show you that. A little bit of flour. And then we'll just pat them down. On they go. So you could do these in advance as well if you wanted, that's not a problem. Really easy. Get as many done as you can. But as soon as you add the sour cream and the ginger beer, you can add normal beer if you wanted. If you're not a massive ginger fan, don't worry about it. Just add something with bubbles in. I like ginger in this dish. I think it works really well. But you could easily just add some normal beer or some sparkling water. Obviously, if you only add sparkling water, you'll not get a lot of flavour out of it. Okay, get rid of this bowl. Okay, right. So, we're cooking on live tonight as well, so everything's happening in real time. So if you decide that you want to try this dish at home, this is how long it takes to cook. It really doesn't take long. Let's have a look at that. Oh, perfect. Right. That is looking damn good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off and I want to really reduce and boil that down. And the reason why we want to do that is we don't want too much liquid, okay? So we'll just keep that going. Boil that ginger beer down to a syrup. So it almost becomes like a glaze. Perfect. Really good. Excellent. Right, let's have a little look at these breads while I'm at it. Turn those over. See those all right? Yeah. Turn them over, and the great thing about these is you can actually see them cooking. So they can see how golden brown and delicious they are. But that's working. Everything's just coming together. A couple of minutes off serving. I like to serve this with fresh lime. So I'm going to cut the lime into 4. There we go. And then I've got pomegranate. Now, I love pomegranate. And I think what it does is it really kind of gives a freshness to this quite sort of rich and autumnal warming dish. We're going to finish it with little jewels of pomegranate, and it just, it's acidity. The way I cook, it's all about balance. I like a balance of flavours. I want a little bit of sweet, a little bit savoury, I want bite, I want acidity, I want heat, I want fragrance. And if you get all those things right in a dish, it'll be beautiful. Okay, so pomegranate, we'll just cut that in half. We only need half. Oh, look at that, it looks absolutely amazing. I must say, the pomegranates in booths are delicious at the moment. They're looking really, really good. And then I also want some fresh coriander leaf. So you take the leaf, roll it up into a ball, just run your knife through nice and gently, and just chop that coriander up. So we've now got a really lovely fragrance. So we've got lime wedges, we've got fresh pomegranate, and fresh coriander leaf. Okay, so everything is looking rather delicious. And I must say, I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. Right, let me crop into there. You can kind of see they're cooked on the outside. I'm just going to give them a minute in the oven while I serve up. Okay. Oh, lovely. Look at that. So all the ginger beer has now really reduced down to a syrup, okay? And that's exactly what we wanted. Give it one last little stir, and then we're going to plate this up, okay? So we'll get rid of that pomegranate. Okay, where shall we put this so you guys can see it well? Okay, if I pop that there, I go to there. Right, let's get some of this sausage. Look at that. There we go. There's our lovely spooky and spicy bangers. And then we're going to go in with a couple of lime wedges, a little bit of coriander there. And then we'll take our pomegranate. Now for me, a pomegranate, if you just turn it over, just give it a little tap, start to get a few of those lovely seeds. There we go. That's all we need for this. Okay. And then a little bit of sour cream, for me, works really, really well. Right on top, like that. And there you go. That is my winter warming Halloween pumpkin. Sorry, that's my winter warming spicy banger dish from sausages made in booths. I've used all the ingredients from booths, and they're all really easy to find. But if you want these sausages, and they are delicious, go to the butcher's counter in booths and get these, and I will post the recipe for you. And have an amazing Halloween and bonfire night. It's such a great time to cook autumn. Amazing ingredients. Get yourself into booths and have a look round.